Hey, and welcome back to part 2 of Homebrew. Um, the party continued discussing Ted's crew back together. Will we ever find out what Blueberry was up to in the primordial plane? Maybe that's a one-shot that will happen somewhere down the line. But we land back in at Tig's apartment. Tig has woken up. He's come out in his sleepy wizard robes and sleepy wizard slippers and sleepy wizard hat. He's put on some coffee. And he's kindly told you that there's not a lot of food in the house. However, he does know a spell called Cauldron of Plenty, of which he can make a sort of pile of brunch for you to enjoy. Tig understands that it mightn't be your choice to eat from a Cauldron of Plenty. So he does kind of say, well, there's other brunch places. There's some hip new places open up. Sometimes there's a line, but if you don't want the Cauldron of Plenty, Arlington, look, they're your friends. I don't want to. Is that a pixie? That's a pixie in the. It's been a while since I've seen
yes,
a pixie.
Papa Tig. This is our friend. This is our friend Ted. She's a pixie we met in a different plane of existence. She's one of the Fae people.
Oh, well, pleasure to be meeting you there, Ted. My name's Tyke McGinnis. I'm Arlington's. I suppose you'd call him foster father, or just.
He's Papa Tig.
Papa?
He's sort of my dad. But I don't know if you've noticed, he's a human. We don't meet many of them. But he's one of the good ones.
Yes,
That's amazing. I love how messed up all of your backstories are, and you get to hang out with your parents and deal with things, and it's so mortal of you.
Troubled kids, yeah.
Yes.
Lots of parent issues, parent baggage.
Yeah, we've all got a lot of parent baggage.
I'll leave you to it. There's I can come back with cold orange slices or well, look, I don't want to cramp your style.
No, thank you for all your hospitality, Papa Tig. It's very appreciated indeed. We'll be sure to repay the favor when we can.
I can repay it now.
Oh.
Well, if you want to repay it now, that's there's no need, not on my account.
Well, I happen to be drinking banknote whiskey.
Oh.
Well,
in my coffee. And
do
so
they use paper money in this realm?
Promissory notes exist amongst all folks of Hibernia. How much credence they carry? Is that how you use the word credence? How much? How much weight they carry is up to the buyer and seller. But look, Ted, you're a guest in my home. I wouldn't push it away. Don't be even thinking about paying me anything. Well, if you slip something to Ireland, then that's okay. I'm always ready to give him a couple of $5 or $10 just so he can get himself a good lunch, But no need.
Okay, then I'll just give you a good berry.
What? A good berry from it? No, Ted. Don't take this. I'm not trying to be insulting, but.
Oh no! I get what you're saying. You are not in the Fae realm. So
it's just really... food from a pixie is just I don't want to have my food tasting like ash.
It's about the location. That's what's in. It's like if you go to the Fae realm and eat in the Fae realm, then that's like a thing.
Wait, what happens if you eat in the Fae realm?
Oh, did you not know? It's why everything tastes like ash for us.
Has it tasted like ash for you? I thought my tongue was broken. This whole time, you've all...
Well, it was impossible to say because the food in Driacht is so poor anyway. As far as I remember.
It was an elvish thing. I don't... Oh, how do we fix it? I hate it so much.
Yeah. Ted, do you know any way of fixing the old eating the Fae food thing?
Well, why would you want to fix it? I don't understand.
Because the food now tastes like ash.
All of your food.
All food.
All food. Oh, because you ate in the Fae. Oh, that sucks.
I would have known, but I didn't know at the time. Because
you can have some of my good berries. They'll taste like good berries.
Oh, I will immediately grab some good berries.
Okay, where are you grabbing them from? Because I haven't given them to you yet. So you're just...
Several of them are poisoned.
I'm just like, is it a deal? Is it a deal? Another little deal?
So Ted holds out her hand and she's got 3 little good berries that to her are like berry sized. And then she picks one up and puts them in your hand. And as they land in your hand, they become berry sized for you.
Ooh, handy. And so this has a taste. This doesn't taste like ash.
No, because I made it.
Yeah, fairy food
food,
tastes
quite
delicious. Like fairy
yes.
food is incredible.
I'm going to
It's
eat
been
some of that.
a long
For
time.
years.
Ty goes into his room and comes back, and you've seen
It
this
also restores
before.
a hit point if you eat it.
Oh.
Arlington, you've seen this staff that Ty carries before. It's this gnarled wooden kind of twisted. It looks like it's just a nice lightning struck branch, and it kind of crackles. He goes, "Well, I thought you better than to eat food from the fairies. You stupid boy!" And he knocks you on the head and casts lesser restoration.
Oh,
And well, no, you can be eating food that tastes like food. And
Did Arlington, did you go back to the Fey realm and eat food again?
maybe. Well,
Oh.
I've been to a couple of different planes of existence, and they sort of blurred together. And sometimes, well, I'm not always behind the wheel, and sometimes I don't know what goes on all the time. You can't always know what your body's doing. You know, it's we've all been. That really hurt, Papa Tag. You bopped me very good.
Look, I'm just trying to help you out, and at the same time, just with a quick rap-a-tap, knocks Icky and Huck against that, and lesser
old man.
But you know, you don't be eating food that's very. And look, Ted, it's an absolute pleasure to be meeting you, and I appreciate the good berries, but I'm not a fool, so I appreciate. And I know the whole I'm not in the Feywild, but isn't that kind of what you'd be saying anyway? Like, to be honest, like.
Yes, that's true.
Like,
Pretty good. I'm gonna just wipe off the good berry and so he didn't see that.
No, the good berries are fine, and you guys don't have to. You're not going to be hungry for the whole rest of the day.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, sweet. That'll help.
If you ate it.
You know what I've never understood, but I thought about it now, is I'm a Fey, so surely Fey food's fine for me.
Fey food's
You,
fine. That's the tagline
make
for
a-
Ted's Emporium of stuff in your face with good breeze.
Fey food's fine for me.
Yeah. I've been walking around
Make a
eating
history
food
check. Huck.
less.
Make a history check.
Oh, that's a 19 on dice, and I'm sure my history is 0 or 1. So
I love how your amount of Feyness is entirely based on convenience.
like a real
Jeez.
Fey. That's how they are.
When you need to be a halfling, you're like, I don't remember being the Fey. Don't remember it at all. Then again, what that was like.
Stop calling out my D&D secrets.
Thinking back on stuff, food tastes absolutely fine to you the entire time, Huck. But there's something about the collective memory of everyone else being like, yeah. You just trusted them so implicitly. You were like, yeah, I guess it is off.
That's what you get with a party of people pleasers. Everyone's like, yeah, no, same. Me too. I know.
I'm
I
getting
think it was just the food and Drift. It's awful. Sure, what do elves care about cooking?
Arlington is going to walk up to Tig, and his eyes have gone a bit like they've lost a bit of luster, and he's gone a bit more stern. He's going to clap a hand on his shoulder. He's going to go, I've gotten really bored. So we're going to go and kill some people. Make sure you're okay.
Yep.
Don't-
Sure. I'm grand. You have fun with your friends. Look,
Yeah.
have fun.
I mean,
with your-
it's good. It's been good seeing you again. You're a good guy.
Are we going to kill people?
I'm gonna kill people. Y'all can come along.
It's it was a stealth mission. It's just that
Yeah, but it's been like 4 days since I killed someone, and
it can't
at
have
least
been
let me
4
hit
days.
someone. Let's just go. Tell you what. I'm gonna start walking. You can figure out where we're going after that, and then I'm gonna start walking out towards the quarry.
Last night. Thought that got out of your system,
I am the system lady. I say from outside.
That's surprisingly articulate for that one. Let's follow him anyway, because he's gonna stick out like a sore thumb and get into a fight. So that's probably I'm gonna go.
Thing I just met. I forgot your name already. What is it?
Oh, what is that? Tig McGinnis.
Tig. Oh, that's a great name. It's too bad you're a nice person. Anyway, Tig,
Tig. It's an ugly name.
we're
Lots of
gonna
people call
take.
One
We're
of the
gonna
more
take.
confusing Irish names that's all consonants.
Yeah, do you want to take a stab at spelling, Tig?
I have that character's name written in my character sheet and I spell it wrong all the time.
Is
I only
is
know
there
the
at
one
least a
spelling.
Y in it
No.
or no?
No.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a
Mhm.
T-A-D-G-H-E?
Oh, so
No,
there
there's
is
no
a
E.
there is
No,
It's
it's just
not
T-A-D-G-H.
consonant.
so there's an is there an A?
There
Like,
is an
There's an A. Just the
so
one
there
A.
is one vowel. So TADGH.
Tadgh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It makes
Oh,
no
okay.
linguistic sense, much like the rest of the Irish language.
Surely it makes linguistic sense in Irish.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think anyone was paying attention at the time when they wrote the language. They were just like,
Oh,
"Ah,
it does. No, it does. Don't listen.
it obeys its
Don't
own weird laws." Just ask any Maeve or Elin in Ireland.
Oh no, I know. I've definitely. It's been one of those where I spend like a fixed amount of time staring at all of the different rules and learning them so I can say a word. And then as soon as I learn how to say that word, I've forgotten all of the rules, and I'm just like I can't say anything else. But it's like a weird spell where it's like you can only memorize the rules long enough to learn how to say one word.
Oh, you can only
You
keep
have to
one,
start all
one
over
name in your
again.
head at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it sounds like you know about as much Irish as the rest of us then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tig, we will take care of the stepson. I don't know, the person you feel bonded to. We will make sure he's safe and pretty and smells like flowers.
Well, I do be appreciating that, Ted. You know, Tig and Ted. I suppose short for Tig would be Tad, and Tad and Ted. No, that's a different. I need to get some coffee, and I guess I have a whole cauldron of plenty to be eating myself. So you see him. It's an oatmeal porter, so it's just a big cauldron of oatmeal. The cauldron of plenty, interesting enough, is another word for Dagda's cauldron. Now he currently does not have it. I'm not saying that he's secretly been carrying the cauldron.
I was about to come running back to the gap.
Wait a second. Cauldron of plenty.
You mean my porridge bowl? Yeah, I've been carrying this old piece of trash around.
In
But
fairness,
I'm
I should be very skeptical of anyone with a cauldron. I didn't even cop that. I was like, wait, is that a magic cauldron? Is that important? Is that one of the magical powers?
But he goes inside and eats a whole pot of porridge. You guys make your way out into the city. That same like misty rain hangs in the air. You notice it's morning, but the streets are busy. You hear mine carts shuffling by, like rain. It's the type of thing where like some cool looking female dwarf might be working on some gadgets in a nearby tavern, you know, sort of looking out the window at this neon rain, phosphorus mushroom sort of city.
Oh no. Are we having issues again?
Oh, shit.
Just you guys. I think I'm still live. So I will
Hey,
continue.
you are live. That's
Yes.
I've gone into the Skype box. Oh,
Again? Question mark.
oh, we can see
But
slide.
Paul was like,
Just Huck moving forward.
weird.
Yeah.
Here.
Cool.
Paul was like, your narrative is boring.
Lost
Let the
cameras.
players play.
I don't know if it's worth us rejoining. I'm going to rejoin real quick.
Double check on the. No, I'm still live. Let me just double check. Still live. Grant, I'll paint a scene for the audience, and
Yeah, I'm going to rejoin. You
players
can
can catch up.
I should rejoin.
I shall do the same.
All right. I'll see you back. In the meantime, you and me, audience, we're going to find out some scene painting. So slight misty rain hanging in the air, street carts go by, glowing phosphorus mushrooms grow on the corner of buildings, adding a nice little, a pop of neon to the city. It's almost as if, the whole city of Sliabh Gem is one giant 10-hour lo-fi chill beats playlist. There's a light smell of smoke and rusty copper that hangs in the air. And the players, although they're a little bit disorientated, which narratively works, they're still not used to this sort of labyrinth-esque layout of the city. It's a mix of organized rock tunnels, open spaces, huge halls, burrowing nooks. It's a little bit like, and I know this isn't an Irish city, but it's a little bit like in Edinburgh when you're there and you kind of look up at a street and you're like, how did they get up? How did they get up there? Like, how does that connect to this street? And you look down off a bridge and you're like, how are they walking on that street if I'm up here? Very much a mix of rock
Oh, we're back.
mine carts and all that. So with that, with a suitably disorientating cityscape of, you know, minecarts seemingly rocking across the roof, and you're like, how does that even make sense with gravity? You walk into the city of Sliabh. You've had breakfast. You've got a belly full of goodberry, singular, because that's how goodberries work. And the day, as they say, is yours. Ted, I was kind of wondering, actually, how do you feel being underground?
I feel better if my intern were here to hold my hand.
That's fair.
But not because I'm like scared or claustrophobic, because that's for wimpy people. But more because it's like I've spent so much time like underground. I'm just over it.
Fair.
You're not scared. You're just bored.
Under it, you might say.
Yes. I will also say that, just as a point of fact, just so y'all know, secrets, Ted finds most emotions complicated, and so she just describes most of the ones she dislikes as boredom.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So all negative emotions she just calls boredom.
we pick up like a TV show or a movie where the character seems to be in a completely different location, but completing the sentence from like 5 minutes before, as Ted finishes talking about where Blueberry is and why Blueberry isn't here with us. You know when they just cut and it's clearly like 20 minutes later, but it's exact like they've just finished their sentence. Like it makes no sense.
So you saw those things in movies and TV, and were like, oh, that seems so convenient as a narrative device. I'm going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use that.
Yes. All TV I take.
Meanwhile, later on in the story.
So Blueberry wanted to explore the the primordial realm, and I thought it was really boring, and I didn't want to go. So I was like, yeah, you go, whatever. I'm not gonna stop you. So they're not coming. They're not joining us.
Well,
Mr. Little Dragon.
Say hi when you see Blueberry next time.
Oh, for surezies. But cooler, way more cooler. I have an intern now. As I've mentioned, I think about 72 times, but nobody cares.
Is your intern Rian? Did he intern with you?
No, Rian's a terrible intern. Can you even imagine being like, hey, I'm looking for interns, and he's all like, yeah, I'd like to be an intern, and then he becomes an intern, and he's like, oh, I hate everything about this, so I'm gonna complain the whole time.
I think Rian as an intern would be fired very quickly for being problematic. I feel like there'd be some kind of lawsuit very quickly.
He'd be the worst. It's surprising he lasted as an intern.
He'd have stolen something, seduced someone, stabbed something. I don't know.
I mean, he didn't even become a real pirate, and it's hard to intern at piracy and not eventually be a pirate.
That's a pretty harsh Rian burn.
In fairness, he does steal and pillage and plunder.
But land based. At best, he's a Viking.
Can we meet your intern? Are they around? Are they here?
I'm glad you asked, Iggy. Yes. Is the answer. Yes, you can meet them.
I was looking around expecting.
May we meet them now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I thought so far you'd been saying I'm an intern. I didn't realize you had an intern.
No. I'm not an intern. I'm a servant to an immortal and all-powerful being.
Yes, I just kind of assumed you'd been demoted. Yes, absolutely, we'd love to meet your intern.
No, I'm not an intern. I have an intern.
Where are they here? Can we meet them?
He's always here. But I say this with the nicest of friendships. Arlington, he's mine.
I would never dream of stealing your intern.
Just wait till you meet him. You'll be like, ooh.
When will we? Is it going to be a surprise? Are they here with us right now?
And I look around as if there's a ghost or something.
Yeah, I can call him now. Ben, what's his name?
So I was working away there in a little mini cocktail in the background while that was happening, and as this happens, I have both. We got the big bucks, baby.
Ooh, Sprite's a good intern name. Hey, intern.
Yeah, we got sponsored by the Coca-Cola company. We're selling it, baby. So the entire time that Ted was talking, there was like a cool looking spiky haired sprite just like tapping his foot by like a building, but also in classic sprite style, sort of realized and goes, "You gotta be kidding me, Ted! I'm
So
too small. I'm too small for them to notice that I'm here. I've been here for but they haven't. So I think we need to point me out. It's just because I've been here for
I
ages."
think they've noticed. How can anybody not notice you standing over there being like the most upset person in the room all the time?
Can we see this guy, or are we just seeing Ted respond to a voice we haven't heard?
Well, now that
Of
you've
course,
made
they've
the-
noticed you.
Much like the best of illusions, now that Ted's talking to this person, and I've poured
Okay.
this Sprite into my beer, creating what some would call a Sprite spritzer. So,
Spritzer.
Spritzer, yeah. Spritzer's a good name.
Fritz, stop being so dramatic. I mean, not forever because it's really cool how broody you are, but like for just right now, stop being so dramatic in front of my friends.
What a nightmare. Okay, Spritz, nice to meet you.
Is Spritz like a little dinky, little tiny? Is this a Tinkerbell?
Dinky?
situation?
I'm sorry, did you just call us dinky? Is that
He is
that-
like so rude.
I didn't realize that was offensive.
dinky? You didn't realize the word dinky was offensive?
I thought it was adorable. I apologize. It's.
Oh, we're adorable now.
I'm sure if there are parts of you that I call dinky, you'd get real offended right away.
Oh, he does.
I need to try and hide Ted.
Splat.
No, you feel an invisible mage hand high five you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to offend anyone. I'm just. You're all so tiny, and I'm not used to it. And
Tiny's fine. Tiny's actually accurate.
Mhm.
Dinky?
Are these really your friends?
I wholeheartedly apologize.
Well, I mean, technically, I'm supposed to like thwart them, and oh, this is Iggy. It's Rua's daughter. But you should go touch her shoulder or something. She's not like Rua. You'd like her.
Oh, okay.
Does Spritzer not like Rua?
No, he doesn't.
That's good. We can get on there.
Do I see? I want to sorry, I'm going to phrase this better. I want to look at Spritz's face and see how he reacts to touching Iggy's shoulder. Like, is he surprised? Is he tense? Like, kind of trying to get a read on this guy.
This is a perfect opportunity to describe what Spritz looks like. So Spritz is a sprite and has kind of short, spiky hair, sort of running through, almost like roots of a tree, like ginger. You can see on his side is quite a majestic looking, if not tiny, longsword. And he seems to have a sort of bow slung over his shoulders. Two wings spread out at top, two at the bottom. So classic butterfly style, 4 wings. In total,
They're actually dragonfly wings.
they are dragonfly wings. So a bit more like dragonfly wings.
Pixies have butterfly wings, but sprites have dragonfly wings.
Very correct. And so like dragonfly wings, you see them kind of every time he sort of hovers and you catch glimpses of it, almost like an animation that's happening so quick that it's just still. So like the frame rate is perfect to paint this picture. And almost, to use real world terms, like Peter Pan-esque. So like sprigs, leaves, classic brown leathers, a little green tunic, brown pants, and brown what look like leather, but they possibly can't be. So maybe soft bark boots. He looks like
if Peter Pan grew up a bit and started modeling for GQ.
Yes.
Trick question: Peter Pan can't grow up.
Present the show.
Yeah.
Well, like Peter Pan, if Peter Pan was like. Also, more importantly, he's like basically shirtless and like raw fat and has raw cool like tattoos.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, you see some kind of like nice little tattoos, and what you can't tell from such a distance is like, does he have a black eye? Does he not have a black eye? Was he in a fight recently? Who knows?
Oh, I just instantly assumed Ted had been secretly beating the shit out of him. I was like, this is gonna get real dark real quick.
Just, like, Russell and Tussle.
She doesn't even let him have a top.
Like her intern's an attractive guy she beats up. This is super dark. No, good. Okay, he's a tough guy. That's very different.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. And you, as you watch Arlington, Spritz just puts a hand on Iggy's shoulder and just goes, "Hey, oh, she is good. She has like a pure heart."
Right?
You feel
And
the
he's like,
You gave her
energy.
Spider-Verse. Nice.
Give her the old
Right?
Spider-Verse.
But no, I'm
Can I-
specifically looking in his face to see what his reaction is to Iggy. Like, is he impressed by her? Is it kind of like a oh shit, or is he scared of her? I want to try and I'm basically trying to make an insight check, but I want to know
Yeah, roll it.
how
roll
he
it.
reacts
Roll it,
to
baby.
Iggy.
Do we
Well,
have
yeah.
chemistry? Is what Wes is asking,
Yeah.
obviously.
Am I going to have
no.
to wingman this thing, and how hard am I going to have to work? Because Iggy will not do herself any favors. Inside, that's a 7. Shit.
You get the feeling that Spritz is hard to read. Like, if anything impresses him, then that would be pretty good. The chemistry, no. It was more like like sizing you up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And Spritz turns to Ted and goes, "Yeah, she seems like one of the good ones, actually. Well, she's nothing like Ruh-roh, despite the familiar resemblance."
Yeah. She's not anything like Ruh-roh in that she won't accept any of her amazing powers or try to, like, get over her own self to be bigger and affect the world around her in a more impactful way. But whatever.
Are those qualities Ruh-roh possesses? Has Ruh-roh shunned power herself?
No,
No.
shun? No, the opposite?
Oh, the opposite.
Yeah,
I
she
misunderstood.
literally
I'm so
just said the
sorry.
opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like, are you?
Yes. So I'm with you now. Yes.
Spritz, what is it that you don't like about Ruh-roh? Obviously, I think she's great, or I don't. But what is it that you don't like?
You've met her. So
Briefly.
there's that. Look, don't get me wrong. The whole turning the world into forests and Feywilds, like, cool, but also the Feywild exists.
Subjective.
So, like, listen here, you scruffy city dweller.
Do I
I
strike
interrupt
you as
you?
a city boy?
Well, you smell like lilac.
I'm not
Oh,
going to
I did that.
deny.
I might have done that. I did that.
I'm not ashamed of smelling wonderful, but continue your story, you brigand.
I see what she's doing. Feywild, material plane, the big squish. But honestly, I have a forest, or I had a forest, so, like, I'm just not into, crushing anyone else's
You
stuff.
have a forest. It's just a different forest. You got the forest that I made for you. It's like, I thought you liked that forest.
Oh, don't get me wrong. The forest you made for me is, like, well, good. But yeah, it's cool. Like, what Ruh was doing is kind of like, if you could find a forest that didn't need, like, taking someone else's forest, then, like, yeah, good. But like, taking someone else's forest is, like, bad,
I feel like I'm at a house party and I'm sort of stuck talking to you outside in the smoking area. Sort of like, you're my friend's stoned housemates, and I'm like, yes, no, absolutely, my taxi should be here any minute.
You see very quickly.
What's a taxi?
It's sort of like a cat person, but not.
Oh, what's a housemate?
Sort of like a friend. End
What's
of
a house
description.
What's your AC?
What's my AC?
Yeah.
I knew these bad jokes would eventually get me killed. 16.
16. Okay. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. I don't know what's happening, but I'm excited about it.
I think you're gonna get punched in the face.
Every time I have to make a con save, I roll like shit. It's the one thing I'm good at. 14.
14's it's so good. So you're fine. You pass it, but you do take 1 point of piercing damage as quicker than you can see, an arrow, a tiny, teeny, tiny arrow and bow just goes, and, like, you just feel this little, like, he goes, oh, I mustn't have dipped that in this sleeping potion that I made.
No. He's just really. He's
Did you just shoot me with an arrow?
He's buff.
Well, it looks like a toothpick, to be fair.
Well, it feels like a bloody arrow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did anyone see? He shot me with a bloody
No one,
arrow.
like,
I
does he
didn't
complain
see
all the
anything.
time?
I didn't see. Not usually, but I think he's trying to make up for the fact that Rian isn't here.
I miss Reed.
Rian's the complaining one you were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen,
Arlington's definitely the new complaining one. That's
He's
for
gotten
sure.
whingier in our Northern Irish friend's absence.
listen, Arlington, is it? Let's get
Yes.
something straight. I don't have to listen to you, and I take orders from no one.
Well, I'm
me.
pretty sure you take orders from
except for Ted. I'm in servitude to Ted, but not you.
So
You
you take
make it
orders.
sound so lean.
You take orders from Ted,
Oh,
and Ted,
Yes.
yeah.
and you hate Ruh-roh, and Ted works directly underneath Ruh-roh. It's an
I
interesting.
don't get into your business. We're working like.
I think you attacked my friend with an arrow, which is my business.
Yeah, see, you don't want to. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. You know.
Oh shit! Hey, Spritz.
Hmm?
Spritz. I know it doesn't look like it. This is Prince Huck.
You feel just a tiny little like wisp of wind just go. Oh, Your Majesty.
That sounds about right.
Spritz, do you remember how when we talked about how sometimes you say things and they still sound like you don't mean them?
What was that? I didn't pick up at all.
Your Majesty.
That sounds good. Yeah.
You hear
We
under
need to stop having so many Fey adventures. I feel like I'm the only one here who doesn't carry any significant weight.
I've
That's
been
not
thinking that actually, Arlington. What are you even doing?
Look, let's just go break into the house or whatever. I don't know. Look, this NSYNC motherfucker needs to get out of my way.
Oh, Arlington, did you ever meet your Gobby protector? Has he come forth at all?
I've met a couple of gods.
No, your Gobby protector.
Oh, Gobby. No, not yet. Thankfully, I haven't had much cause to pull him out. But I'm looking
I met
forward
him.
to
He's
meeting
really
him.
cool.
No, I'm looking forward to meeting him. I'm not sure if I can beckon him out when danger isn't arrived. Would it be nice to meet him before I, sacrifice him? But
No, it'll be an interesting relationship you two have for sure.
yes,
It'll
but
only be awkward.
fortunately, my life hasn't been in that much danger since we last met. But yes, it's quite a fetching piece of jewelry, I should say, if nothing else. Shall we adventure? Spritz,
Yes.
you're welcome to join us, I suppose.
Spritz, you'll love this. They're trying to thwart Ruh-roh, and when I say they, I mean just Arlington and Huck. Because
Well, that's a strange way to phrase it. Our friend Iggy is right here and a very valued
is
member
the
of
most
the team.
useful in our party, but
Iggy is here to help her friends.
Yes.
That's
But
true.
she would never thwart her mother.
Well,
That would be
let's not
so
put words in her
rude.
mouth. Iggy's her own person. She can make her own decision.
Iggy, what's your decision?
Oh, well, so guys, maybe before when we were there, I apparently did say that I was making a deal, and part of that deal involved not helping Ruh-roh, or not stopping Ruh-roh. My memory is all terrible. Anyway,
Didn't I advise you specifically against making that deal?
I assumed you were disregarding that because
I don't think Iggy needs a man to tell her what to do.
It wasn't a man. It was a halfling puka that was telling her that.
I might argue that in this one singular one case, maybe she does.
well, I will say that the terrible powers that are being offered, as of right now, I can't fully disregard them because, the whole, saving everyone that I love from dying. I am kind of hoping that I can still do that, so I have to just kind of remember that part. If we'd stop the world from ending, I need to, still go back and fix it. So I'm maybe just going to keep it, as an option. So, yes, I can't outwardly help Ruh-roh, help you help stop Ruh-roh, but I can just help you, and I'm not that effective anyway.
Have you tried any of the powers yet? Could we just like road test them?
Ooh, yes, let's road test some powers.
I.
Well, I have this. I've got this big book, and it says I need to read it for quite some time. And I was just gonna,
I mean, I don't mean to attack your character, Ignatius. I can completely understand wishing to manipulate the powers your mother might have given you, but we should probably find out what those powers entail, because you not helping is a big thorn in our side. As much as I appreciate your company,
Arlington. I think you're just overcomplicating this. Okay, so we've got some stuff going on here, right? So like we all of us have very different end goals technically, but that doesn't mean we can't work together because our end goals kind of align. So like for instance, Spritz here hates my sworn master. That's fine though, because he's like totally loyal to me, right? So he still helps me do stuff. And Iggy is like such a good friend that she'll like do anything you guys need to help you.
I see where you're going. It's a very clever way of getting around the whole Faye thing. Classic. It's classic.
And I would super like to get a new name. So that's because, the name that I currently have is maybe representative of a time in my life when I was more willing to take things than earn them. Maybe. And maybe certain things that have happened recently have taught me that it's better to like care about consequences and people and earning things.
Oh,
nice. Ted, if I may be so bold, why did Blueberry choose to go to the primordial plane?
Oh no, he literally just wanted to go there, and I just let him go. Like that's just
okay. It's sort of hard to tell when things have large emotional weight and when it's just weird Faye shit. I didn't mean to presume.
I find that offensive.
Like you and me both, buddy.
Well, I mean, Huck, get in line. It seems I'm being a problematic bugbear today.
I will simplify it. Arlington, everything has large emotional weight, but in a Faye lifetime, large is very small.
I'm no closer to understanding the truth. What changed with you recently that you feel you need to
Nothing changed with me recently that's worth mentioning.
I feel like that's a lie.
That feels like reflection.
Could we like give her a break?
That's a pretty bad lie as well.
Are we doing this or are we doing this? Like, I don't know what.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go on a mission and think this was going to be like 52 questions.
We can deal with it later on, but
I'm
sorry.
You don't have to deal with it at all, Arlington.
I want to make sure all of my friends are doing okay in the membrane essay, and you are considered one of them. So just, you better watch out, because I'll care about you whether you like it or not.
If you don't mind me saying, you're being a bit of a Johnny Low when we need you to be a Johnny High. There's a glare, but it's called Johnny Low.
Why is this pixie showing beers to me?
He's a sprite. He's not a pixie.
Excuse me.
Can't you tell by his super broodiness and how he takes everything really seriously and like gets real offended for no reason?
Wings, not butterfly wings. I mean, like,
yeah, there's that too. There's also physical
obviously, I noticed the dragonfly thing. Anyone can tell the difference between a dragonfly wing and a butterfly wing. That's obvious.
And he doesn't get excited about parties or like have passion about anything or like, have the ability to enjoy himself in any situation.
A bit of attack on poor Spritz.
Spritz, that's the worst. Have you ever played Jax by any chance?
Oh, we've gone so long.
Nah.
I mean, it's the best. It might be the thing to make you have an emotional connection.
Do you reckon?
It's worked for everyone else I've ever met.
All right.
As far as I'm concerned, anyway.
I kind of doubt it, and that's no offense to you. You seem like Your Majesty. You're great.
Okay. Well, anytime I'll get you in a game of Jax. We'll just do some kind of deal of some kind. I've been thinking about it, and do we know where this house is? Because I had an idea of a way to find the house.
Yeah,
If-
Hibiscus told us where the house was, didn't she?
Very
Yeah, she did.
specifically. Cool. Okay.
Is that your idea?
Mhm.
No, I noticed that on my beer it says follow the hops, and I was like, I'm gonna cast a spell for a rabbit to show me the way.
That's pretty cute.
That is better than knowing the way. So
Yeah.
as a puka hare, you 100% know how to make it to this house. And if we're looking at if you're in the Homebrew Discord,
Right.
or if
Follow
you've
the
seen
hops.
the map on, because it's kind of good.
See
Of
that
course.
rabbit.
Yes, nice. Follow the hops. You know where it is because one, Hibiscus has kind of told you, but you know specifically because you remember passing it when you first arrived at Steam Gem. There is a rather fancy looking mansion at the upper levels of the city. So you jump on a minecart and you shuttle your way towards the upper levels. You're kind of in the middle levels at the moment. You were kind of told the general direction, but yeah, you follow the hops and you follow your puka intuition and just sort of knowing the path. As someone in the Fae who knows not to step off the path, you happen to be quite good at staying on it. And you all find yourselves at the set of thick stone walls that seem to outline the grounds of a large estate.
I was hopping the whole way, by the way, as well. Just
Yeah, you were doing like in the car.
It's taking
playing
significantly longer to get there.
I'm pretty good at hopping, you know. I am a part rabbit.
You make your way to the upper levels, and it's a little bit. The buildings here are a little bit sparser. There's a bit more. Let me see. Let me look at the map to describe your way. You pass what seems to be an underground park. Like they've managed to grow trees and proper foliage and like proper like actual forest lands in the mountains somehow. You do pass by some phosphorus mushrooms. At that spritz is like, oh, nice, sweet bush. And you seem to pass by what is like beside this forest lands, almost like a granary or like a place where they might store rations and food. And you get the feeling that they have an
Can I
orchard.
when we pass those mushrooms, my mage hand is gonna grab some, but like on the sly.
Nice. Yeah, you pick it up. You don't need to roll. You just grab some. You just go boop. And like the hand, is the mage hand invisible or does it have a slight luminescent kind of outline?
I think it's invisible.
The lights of the mushrooms, because they kind of glow with this neon underground phosphorousness, just seem to kind of. It's hard to hide them because inside the invisible mage hand, there seems to be. It's almost lighting up the edge of it. So you're like, oh no, the lights of mushrooms. But you manage to stuff them away.
Bag of holding.
Yeah, just in and gone. And the only person who notices is Spritz and goes, thanks. That's really kind of you.
It's not invisible. It's spectral. Ha ha ha.
There's a nice little shine from his spectral hand as you snatch some mushrooms, which are almost like the city lights here, but instead of being on the roof, they're everywhere. So you get ground light, you get top light. It makes dwarves look like angrier than they are. So like the reputation of angry dwarves seems to come from this underlighting that they get from the mushrooms. You pass by like some fancy looking buildings, and then lo and behold, you pull up to this building I was describing, which has these long stone walls. They block any view outside, but you walk along it easy enough. And at the front, you're presented with these like gaudy golden gates, and bejeweled in the center is like a large K. And that was what you were told to look out for, this large bejeweled K. And these gates seem to block what is a long driveway leading up to this estate house. None of you need to make perception checks. You can kind of see up the way. It's like almost like a reclaimed cathedral. So you get the glimpse of colorful stained glass windows over the door, glittering in the distance. Either side of the main entrance seem to be large towers that stretch up. And they stretch up so far that they almost kind of touch and meld with the stalactites dripping from the roof. And pretty instantly as you approach the gates, to the side, in the pillar, this little like mouth comes out and goes, "No visitors, thank you."
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is that the pillar? Did anyone else hear that?
No visitors, thank you.
Can you say anything else?
No visitors, thank you.
Okay, can't say anything else. That's grand. It's a strange poll.
What? I'm just gonna whisper. What was our? What are we gonna do again?
We're not visitors. We live here.
Aye.
No visitors, thank you.
I'm gonna put my hand on Huck, and he's gonna turn into a dwarf.
Ooh.
What? I hate
Oh,
being-
wait, no, hold on. Sorry. Before I do that, I'm gonna put my hand on Huck and say, "Would you like to be a dwarf?" It's
Sure.
just easier if you're willing. Okay, cool. All right. He is a dwarf. We're not visitors. We live here.
Gesture to Huck.
Yes, let us in. I have important mining. That's what dwarves talk about, right?
Yeah. No visitors, thank you. Hook, make an Arcana check. Make an Arcana check.
Cool.
Arcana.
Check.
Oh, that's not a bad
Is it
roll.
like Nike? Arcana?
Not a not natural.
Or
20.
like stalactite? How did you say it?
President
Stalactites?
Obama.
Yes,
You know President Obama.
stalactite and stalagmite? No.
We say stalactite and stalagmite.
Stalactite. That's more fun.
Run out
The
of here with your
emphasis is on the
Adidas.
second syllable.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about my own personality and joy in life, but I find mispronouncing very simple words like Arcana and calling him President Obama hilarious.
There's something very fun about Obama, though. I can't even say it the wrong way intentionally.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama.
Do you enjoy that, Ben? Partly as a clever cover for the fact that you don't know how to pronounce most words.
Yeah.
It's
That is the
Maybe
handy.
that's why
it's a symbiotic kind of thing.
Who knows what came first, the mispronouncing of words, the Bennerisms, or the actual words themselves. Non-natural 20. You know that this isn't a intercom. This is a magic mouth, so it's just being triggered by the same thing. So no matter what you do, it's just going to go. No others, thank you. It's almost weird that it had changes in tone. It should just be the same message all the time, but you get the feeling that it's sort of imbued it with something.
When the door responds to Huck's dwarf impression, Grud is going to try and when the mouth of the door is open, Grud is going to stick his hands in the mouth and try and pull it open.
I have no idea what happens in that situation, but make a strength check.
Neither do I.
I don't know what happens when you plug or like Alice in Wonderland style.
Yeah,
door.
I'm thinking Alice in Wonderland shit here.
Yeah.
It's real sad is what happens. Oh.
Make a strength check.
Strength check.
I mean, what's is it a pillar that's talking this? The pillar like made out of stone?
It just seems to be formed out of the pillar. It's just like it doesn't exist, and then when you cross this sort of invisible boundary, this mouth just appears and goes.
He's trying to hold open
That
some
is
stone.
an unnatural 20 for me, please.
Ooh.
Dirty 20.
You get your
I like
hand.
unnatural 20. That's
A
weird.
freakish 20.
Yeah.
An otherworldly 20. You get your hands in
Plastic
there.
surgery 20.
An augmented 20 for you get your hand in there and it tries to and then it just sort of melts the other way, like one of those weird like gifs that like backwards heads that sort of do that thing where like the mouth opens too wide and then just disappears and goes and then appears slightly further away, goes, no visitors, thank you.
Okay. So it's
Did
not
you
like
guys
it's not like
have
it's a fixed stone structure or anything like that.
I'm almost certain it's meant to be, but I'm almost certain very few people have stuck their hand in a magic mouth before.
Okay. So I couldn't see anything. It looked like just the innards of a regular mouth. I couldn't see the other side of the door or anything when I pulled it open.
You stick your mouth in and it appears somewhere else and goes out into this world, tiny little thing, small little girl before its time. And then instead of doing all of Not I by Beckett, it comes back and goes, no visitors, thank you.
Was there a plan? Is there a back door? Was there like a...
Yeah, could we see, is there somewhere like, I'm thinking, the delivery entrance, the
Well,
how people...
I
the hell.
would like to use a flashpoint from Tig's house party.
Oh.
Was there anyone else at Tig's house party that wasn't like our immediate party? Were there any dwarves or random people?
Well, absolutely, because that's a flashpoint. So yes, there is. There was someone you met there who happened to do deliveries to this home. So you were chatting to them and you remembered that Twisted Nuts has become a bit of a hermit and a recluse. So we flash back to the house party, Tig's party. Some sweet beats are happening. Some sort of like, dame más gasolina. Gasolina is playing with Daddy Yankee.
Is
Me gusta la
because I'm
gasolina.
here? It's just
Dame
like,
más
let's do something
gasolina.
American.
I don't know, that infected
Canta la
everywhere.
gasolina. It's a mint, and DJ Disco Mystic is on the decks playing a remix of Daddy Yankee, Gasolina.
And
As we were
every other
chatting-
song isn't actually Daddy Yankee, but it's the same genre, so it just sounds like the same song.
It's the fantasy.
Rude.
Point of order. I have a genuine question. Is it actually Disco Mystic spinning the tunes?
No, it's tying under the guise of Disco Mystic, because you remember
Okay.
from that party,
Remember
the
that
Disco
was-
Because
Mystic.
then I was going to immediately fucking make a 90-degree turn and be like, I'm talking to that guy instead, because this guy has all the knowledge I need.
You don't know if you like. There might be times in the past you've met the Disco Mystic. It's hard to remember. Everyone meets the Disco
Okay.
Mystic at least once in their life. And you remember in this conversation, they go, well, I actually do a bit of delivery myself up to the old Clockwork Tangerine headquarters. You say it's a headquarters, more of a manor house. Twisted Knots lives there, and he's kind of made it's a working from home situation, so he's working there, but it's also headquarters. The funny thing is, not a lot of people talk to him. He's a bit of a recluse, but there is every day a side delivery of large barrel ales. He has a bit of a thirst on him for the fanciest of beers. So if you happen to have any extraordinary beers, he'll let you right in. And if you happen to notice the barrels going in the morning time, kind of noonish, then that's another way in.
What time is it now?
It's about noonish.
Wait, so sorry. So at the there's a side delivery place where they accept deliveries. Is that it?
Yeah, there seems to be a couple of barrels of beer that go in through the side of the estate in a little wagon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, and
So
Ted,
could we
Ed
put-
might be able to help us with this. We need
Yeah.
delicious beer in a barrel.
Faye, Spritz, do either of you have any way of fabricating alcohol? If we can get something that's sort of like a little more out there, we could get a sneaker delivery in the side entrance.
Spritz, you're so good at brewing. But I mean, I can just make it appear like it's alcohol. Does
I
it
mean,
need to be-
really, we don't really care so long as he drinks it and then gets knocked out.
At this moment in
Oh.
time,
Go ahead.
At this moment in time, Arlington, as you're looking around to the side entrance, I want you to make a perception check.
Ooh. I've been rolling like shit, and this is fine. 18.
18. You notice immediately, and you happen to be on like it's almost like a second instinct for you to be on the lookout for this kind of stuff. You see that while you've been hanging outside these front gates, that there was sort of a patrol down the street of city guard that have kind of walked by. They've come back, and they're kind of looking at you and talking to themselves, and they begin to make their way over to you. And if anyone starts to move, they go, just one sec, just classic screening, just have to have one conversation with you. There happened to be a bunch of bandits called the Dirty Bitch Boys in the area. So we're just kind of checking people if they're any sort of... I'm sure it's nothing fine at all. And at that is where we will take the end of the show, as these city guards come up to you looking for members of the Dirty Bitch Boys, matching any sort of description throughout history. We will pick up in 2 weeks.
Anyone that's on the criminal registry
Yeah.
Anyone who happens
with
to
any
be-
noticeable bugbear features.
This sounds like profiling. We should be against it.
Oh, it's
Are they looking for bugbears?
Yeah, they're looking for bugbears, hobgoblins, goblins, kenkus. They're looking
Oh,
for
that's
any-
totally fine. What do you want to look like, Arlington?
I'm comfortable with who I am.
Well, you're covered in flowers, so there's never been a bugbear like that. You could be how about a lady bugbear? No, that sounds like you're a lady now. No.
I mean, if I'm
What
allowed to
bugs
make
are on
that decision
flowers?
now, we'll go with a halfling because
Yeah,
it's the easiest.
you can make a decision now as as Ted springs into action and starts kind of
Then
incantating.
I want to look like a lady halfling that could be Huck's sister.
Does anybody else want to change their looks? I can do everybody at once, and
I'll be a dwarf. Can I be?
Okay. So one dwarf. Huck,
Dwarf
what
would
you
make much
got?
more sense.
I can cover. I'm a puka. I can change anyway, so I'll stay the same.
I haven't done it yet, Arlington. You can switch to a dwarf.
I think dwarf makes more sense, but
Okay, 2 dwarves.
yeah, it makes more
Are
sense.
we doing this right in front of the guards? Because that's great.
They're
like a third
bears.
of my size.
Help me!
I thought we do that. We try to convince them that they didn't see a tall person.
Y'all have 2 weeks to come up with dwarves or alternate egos as these city guards who do see this kind of form. Go,
Tell them as they got closer, we were all standing on each other's shoulders.
Yeah. It's a big couch.
Just the rise of the street made it look like.
Yeah.
Or you could just walk away and then come back as different people.
Yeah, there's also
Somewhere to hide from that.
you
Yeah.
have,
Guys,
You've
make
been
it
hanging around with Ruh-roh too long.
you have time to plan as we'll come back in 2 weeks' time, which I think February 16th is Mardi Gras, if I'm not wrong.
Has it?
I feel like that might not happen this year.
No, it still
Yeah,
happens.
but
It's a holiday. It's
Yeah.
just
Oh, I didn't know it was a holiday. Okay, I thought it was just.
yeah. What?
Wait, what?
No, it's okay. So you know Lent, right?
Yeah.
Is it a
Of
religious
Of course
thing?
we know Lent.
Yes, it's a religious
I
thing.
didn't know that. I genuinely thought it was
So,
just
okay,
I
so
thought it was
Mardi Gras originally was obviously a celebration of a pagan holiday, a pagan festival, and then the Catholic Church took over and was like, "Stop doing this shit, you guys."
Classic.
And they're like, "Fine, we'll stop doing it." But then the Catholic Church noticed that when they did do the like pagan celebrations, they kind of got everything out of their system prior to Lent. So the Catholic Church was like, "Okay, you can have your festival, but it's not a pagan thing anymore. It's a Catholic thing." And it's the day before Ash Wednesday. It's Fat Tuesday, and you guys do whatever the fuck you want until midnight. But at midnight, it's Ash Wednesday, and you fuckers stop being so sinful. And for 40 days, no more sin. And everyone's like, all right, cool. That seems like a really good compromise. And then Louisiana was made by a bunch of pirates and hookers. And well, I mean, first there was Festival, obviously, and Carnival, which, you know, like France and Spain, and they all do that. And then like South America does all that. But then Louisiana was founded by a bunch of pirates and hookers. And they were like, okay, cool, Mardi Gras is like a day. But what if we made it just all of the days? And they got to the point where they were literally celebrating Mardi Gras almost the entire year. Like there was parades for months and months and months. And there's a law in Louisiana now that you cannot start celebrating Mardi Gras until after King's Day, which is January 6th. So the Mardi Gras season starts January 6th on King's Day, and that's where you get the king cake, where you have the first King's Day celebration, and whoever gets the baby has the next party. And then that leads all the way up to Fat Tuesday, which is honestly a very short day because everybody's been drinking for like weeks.
What is I mean, we have a very similar story with today.
That's so good. It's so
Wait,
comprehensive.
but at midnight on Fat Tuesday, like the bars in New Orleans generally are open just like 24 hours, right? But on midnight on Fat Tuesday, all of Bourbon Street closes. And it's fine. If you're in the bar, they just close the doors and you're stuck in there because the fire department, also Louisiana, especially Southern Louisiana, has the best riot police in almost the world, probably because of Mardi Gras. But at midnight, the fire department walks down Bourbon Street with fire hoses to literally wash off the filth from the 3 weeks straight. The Southern Louisiana shuts down for 3 weeks leading up to Mardi Gras because it's not safe. Because so many people come in to party. So they just like wash off the filth. And if you're on the street, you just get blown away with fire hoses.
I feel like I want to look up some videos of this now.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks when these city guards are going to wash you off the street because it's Mardi Gras. That's dwarves.
Well, that's at midnight. Like during the day, it's fine. There's like parades that start at 6 a.m. on Monday.
Shrove Tuesday, like it's Pancake Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make pancakes and they wash people off the street and they drink. We will be back. If you haven't already, if this is your first time watching or you just haven't done it yet, there should be a subscribe button like somewhere near Keelan's face. So please do that. If you don't follow us on social media, please follow us at Homebrew Quest. Also, don't forget to check out Alamo On Demand. they got gather. Don't forget to check out D&D in a Castle. There is a D&D in Castle Discord. You should be able to find that either in the links below, or if you like, there's Twitter pages, there's social handles, there's all the usual stuff that you find with events, I think.
Yeah, but there won't be anything on them right now because we're rebranding.
You can follow them and get ready for the rebrand, which is super exciting. Like unbelievably exciting. Ashley only told us that on stream here, so like it's like we're there being like, amazing. So do join that.
Lucy knew. I'm surprised she didn't tell you.
Surprised and disappointed.
She didn't talk about it.
We're gonna have to talk off stream because like that kind of stuff is not. We have our own like private disc. You can let us know these things. Like, let's air our dirty laundry in public. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much for watching. A huge thanks to our tech team. Tonight of all nights, especially when there's glitches, there's tech goblins, having Paul there is a lifesaver, getting us back up and running. You will notice that this is part 2 of the episode. So if you're watching on YouTube, it's a separate video. If you're listening to the podcast, it should have been as seamless as possible. We try our best to upkeep a level of professionalism, even though we're drinking. So thank you so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, look after yourselves, be sound, good night, and joy be with you all.
Bye.